Irish pro-Palestine activists embrace Palestinian term as badge of honor. It was originally intended as an insult from Israelis. And one user, I think, sums up the feelings of Irish people about Bono. Bono is a pox, ancient Irish proverb. Now, he's been at this for quite a long time. Here's Bono with W, who he expressed great fondness for. Took a lot of photo ops with George Bush. Here he is with Madeleine Albright, who literally, when she was asked if it was worth 500,000 Iraqi children, said that the invasion was worth 500,000 Iraqi children without even blinking.
Right.
Like she didn't even pause. Like real psychotic moment. And here he is getting a medal from none other than Genocide Joe, getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom shortly before Biden left office. Quote, I took that medal on behalf of all those people who don't get medals, the activists, the people who are getting killed now in Gaza. It's deeply ironic, unquote. Bono saying he was collecting a medal for people getting killed in Gaza is peak Messiah complex. Yeah, you think? So that was part of a radio interview that he just gave to Brendan O'Connor. And here he is answering this question of, the backlash he got for accepting a medal from Joe Biden.
Some criticism for accepting the Medal of Freedom from Joe Biden last year in light of how America was supporting Israel's actions in Gaza. Like, when you look back on that now, do you think maybe was it wrong at this time to take that from America?
Being a conscientious objector with somebody else's conscience is quite a stretch. I've worked with.
Is this from some Irish proverb about a leprechaun and a clover and a sea hag? I don't even understand what the fuck that means. What does that mean? Being a No, you're being asked to be a conscientious objector with your conscience. What the hell are you even? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I was just about to suggest we book a live show in Dublin because we have a lot of Irish fans. And then you said, is this some proverb with a leprechaun and a sea hag? And never mind.
They have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
The Irish folk.
With Joe Biden for 25 years. I worked with him when he was in the Senate on Drop the Debt. I've worked with him on universal access to antiretroviral drugs, on increasing aid flows. This is a man who I have deep respect for and a real relationship with. And, there's other aspects to that which are just inaccurate and just people just not understanding that these bills, the supplies for Israel and their weapons, and we're bound up in Ukraine's defense, and in fact there was attempts to decouple them, but Biden knew he wouldn't get it through Congress. He wouldn't get Ukraine through Congress. These are complex affairs, and
okay, so if you follow this at all, I'm sure you know that there were standalone aid packages for Israel, but it's actually worse than that. What he's saying there, that Biden tried to decouple Israel funding from Ukraine because he wanted to presumably end Israel funding that way, is literally exactly the opposite.
The exact opposite. Yeah, yes.
White House opposes standalone Israel funding bill. The White House announced on Monday it would oppose a bill to fund Israel's security if it did not include the president's requests for aid to Taiwan and Ukraine. National Security spokesperson John Kirby threw cold water on House Speaker Mike Johnson's plan to introduce a standalone bill funding Israel following the attacks from Iran over the weekend, saying it would not get President Joe Biden's backing. So he literally is telling you the exact opposite of the truth.
Yeah, they were holding out for both.
Yeah. What an incredible piece of shit. Now, Bono, from very early on, has been the ambassador, really, of neoliberalism. He is the first real neoliberal rock star. Like his job, I mean, going back to the beginning of U2, has been to sell neoliberalism by getting, yeah, no, you can work with George Bush and you can work with the most evil corporations in the world. You can work with defense contractors. You can work with everybody. And, these corporations are going to give microloans in Africa and it's going to clear up the whole thing. Like he's been the cool rock star giving not cool to us, but I mean, that's been his role in the establishment ecosystem. He's been the pet rock star of the whole neoliberal project, giving it a patina of cool.
Yes, absolutely. And it drove me crazy in the 2000s when, I liked those two albums that they came out with there in the early 2000s. The one they won the Grammy for, what the hell is it named? All You Can't Leave Behind. And then How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb was another one that I liked a lot. And so, I was teens, early 20s. I was like, they kind of hit their stride again. The 80s albums were okay. Some of them were pretty good. And then I, just this powwowing with George Bush was like, oh God, this just ruins it. This just kills it. And that is very much who they are. They partnered with Apple. Everybody remembers this. They put out one of their albums, I think it was Songs of Innocence, I believe that was the one, where everybody just automatically got it on their iPhone. If you owned an iPhone, the song just appeared on your iPhone for free, and everybody's like, how do I get this shitty U2 album off my iPhone?
And every now and then you'd hit the wrong button and it
would start playing. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's really, I mean, looking back on his career in the 90s, he you had Sunday Bloody Sunday, right? So if you look at this tradition of radicalism in Irish music, he really just neutered that and packaged it and defanged it and basically sold it to people as if like, okay, you're listening to U2. It's this radical Irish band, and it has the moral authority of a radical Irish band.
Right.
And he used that to sell the neoliberal project.
Right, exactly.
And he's still doing it.
Hey, thanks for watching our video. We're currently raising money to produce our documentary film on the Uhuru movement. Go to givesendgo.com/do dissidents to chip in.
Every dollar you give goes towards the project. We do not take any kind of salary on these. We mostly live on Gatorade when we're on the road, so even solid food is iffy, just enough to get by. But we do not take any pay for this. Every dollar actually goes into what we need to shoot the project. The Uhuru movement is a subject that really deserves more exposure. Everybody heard about it through the court case, and that was an important thing to elevate. But they've done incredible community work demonstrating a different way that is socialist and not dependent on the government at the same time, which a lot of people don't even realize that still exists in the tradition of the Black Panther food and education programs. And to show there is such a strong community like that with such strong leadership is really important, particularly at this historical moment.
Yeah, so we're really excited about doing the project, but we need your help. So go to givesendgo.com/do dissidents to chip in. Thanks very much for your support.
Please clap.